Welcome to the Pawtucket Red Sox Weekend Review for June 6, 2017. This is Adam Blue for CLNS, a leading online provider of audio-visual coverage for the Boston Red Sox. The Paw Sox brought a 4-game winning streak into last week's set of games and added 2 more victories on Monday and Tuesday before alternating wins and losses on the road to cap yet another busy week. Bryce, Brentz, and Ryan Court were offensive standouts during the week, while Hector Velasquez, Marcus Walden, and Sean Haviland led the pitching staff to 4 victories as the Paw Sox attempt to claw back to the 500 mark. Pawtucket brought the brooms out on Memorial Day to sweep the Durham Bulls, as Court snapped a 1-1 tie with a solo homer in the 7th inning in the Paw Sox 3-1 victory. The afternoon contest was a pitcher's duel through the first 4.5 innings, with the Paw Sox plating a run in the bottom of the 5th on an RBI single from Jansen Whitty. Durham struck back to tie the game, which was the only blip on the outing of Haviland, who tossed 6 strong innings and a no decision. Court launched his 4th homer of the season to lead off the 7th, and added an RBI single to score Pablo Sandoval for some insurance. Brandon Workman tossed 2 hitless innings to earn the W, while Noe Ramirez earned his 3rd save of the year to give the Paw Sox their longest winning streak. The Sox hit the road on Tuesday night, but the results were the same, as they defeated the Norfolk Tides 3-1 for their 6th consecutive victory. The Paw Sox looked sluggish out of the gates, as their offense mustered up just 1 hit through the first 5 innings before scoring all 3 runs in the 6th. Court, Steve Selsky, and Blake Swihart earned RBIs in the 6th, with Haker Menezes, Rusney Castillo, and Selsky crossing the plate. Pawtucket starter Marcus Walden earned his 3rd win of the year by tossing 5 innings of 1-run ball, allowing 4 hits and no walks while striking out 3 Tides batters. Jamie Callahan picked up his first career AAA save by retiring all 5 batters that he faced. Menezes and Selsky led the way with 2 for 4 games, and the duo each swiped the base as well. There was everything in Wednesday's game between Pawtucket and Norfolk: a lengthy rain delay, a game-tying grand slam immediately afterwards, and yet another walk-off loss for the Paw Sox. Brentz tied the game at 7-7 in the top of the 7th inning after the 65-minute delay, but Norfolk's David Washington ended the game in the 11th with a walk-off 2-run homer in the Tide's 9-7 win. The loss snapped Pawtucket's season-long winning streak and was their 6th defeat in 7 extra-inning contests. Starter Kyle Kendrick was awful yet again, allowing 3 runs in the 4th and 4 more in the 6th before the rains came. The Sox had runners on 1st and 2nd in the 7th prior to the stoppage, with Brentz Grandy capping a torrid stretch where he's hit .429 with 3 homers and 10 RBIs in his last 8 games. Brentz and Menezes were 3 for 5, while Court reached base 5 times with 3 hits and 2 walks. Velasquez pitched another gem on Thursday night to guide the Paw Sox to a 6-1 win, which gave them the series win over Norfolk. Velasquez threw 6 shutout innings to lower his ERA to 1.50, which places him 2nd in the International League behind Jose Berrios, who was called up to the Minnesota Twins in mid-May. The Sox scored all 6 runs in the 5th inning, with Castillo and Court picking up RBI doubles for the first 3 runs, and another blast from Brentz plating the last 3 runs. Court raised his batting average to a team-high .297 with his 3rd multi-hit game in his last 4 starts, while Whitty earned his first 2-hit game in nearly a month. Pawtucket began their 3-game road set with the Bulls, with the home team dropping a 6th spot in the bottom of the 1st en route to a 6-4 victory over the Paw Sox. Henry Owens recorded just 2 outs in his dreadful outing, as he allowed 6 runs on 6 hits and 2 walks to raise his ERA from 2.98 to 4.04. A trio of Pawtucket relievers, Austin Maddox, Kyle Martin, and Jamie Callahan, kept the Bulls off the scoreboard for the final 7 innings, but the Sox could not complete their comeback bid. Pawtucket scored once in the 3rd on an RBI groundout by Brian Bogusovic and plated 3 runs in the 6th on a double from Whitty and a 2-run single from second baseman Mike Miller, who had 3 of the Paw Sox' 7 hits. The bullpen was needed yet again on Saturday night, as starter Brian Johnson lasted just 1 2/3 innings before suffering an injury when he pulled an Eduardo Rodriguez and slipped off the mound. The Paw Sox offense scored 6 runs to take a 2-0 deficit and turned it into a 6-2 lead, then held on for the 6-4 victory. Bogusovic drove in 4 with a 2-run triple in the 4th and a 2-run double in the 8th. Miller added 2 hits and scored a run, while also pitching the final inning for the Sox. He allowed 2 runs on a homer by top Rays prospect Willie Adames, but retired the final 2 batters to preserve the victory. Johnson's injury was ruled a hamstring cramp, and he could be recalled to Boston to start in Rodriguez's place on Saturday night against the Tigers. Pawtucket added 2 arms to their roster for Sunday's game, with Jalen Beeks making his AAA debut in the start. Beeks suffered the loss in Durham's 5-4 win as he allowed 4 runs on 6 hits with 3 walks and 3 Ks in 6 innings of work. Ty Buttery also made his AAA debut, allowing a single run in 2 innings as the Sox ran through the majority of their arms in the last 2 contests. Brentz and Alan Craig provided the power for the road team as both hit homers in the loss. Brent's blast was his 9th of the season, which leads the team, while Craig's was his 1st of the year. Castillo, Court, and catcher Dan Butler added 2 hits each, as Pawtucket out-hit the Bulls 12-8 in the loss. The 4-3 mark last week landed the Paw Sox at 24-27 on the season, and they are inching closer to moving out of 5th place in the 6-team North Division. Entering Monday's games, the Sox were just 1 game back of the Rochester Red Wings, but are still 10.5 back of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, who lead the International League with 38 wins and a stellar 22-6 home record. The Sox return home this week for 7 games against Northern Division foes, as long as the weather cooperates. They'll start a 3-game series with the Syracuse Chiefs on Monday, and will look to take advantage of the team with the worst record, 17-34, and worst road mark, 7-19, in the entire International League. They will then move on to a 4-game set with the 31-23 Buffalo Bisons on Thursday. The Sox are 1-2 this year against the Bisons, and have won 5 of their 6 games with the Chiefs this season. Check back in with me next week for a recap of all the Paw Sox action. And be sure to check out the pre- and post-game coverage of all 162 games of the Boston Red Sox season with the Sox Beat team here at CLNS, along with some lively discussions during our roundtables and the Red Sox Beat Weekly podcast. This has been Adam Blue for CLNS.